I would like to call the March 26, 2025 Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting to order. If you are able, please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we have the roll call, please?
Chair Halstead,
Here.
Commissioner Petty,
Here.
Commissioner Fikes is absent, Commissioner Ursley,
Here.
Commissioner Kraus,
Here.
Commissioner Woodard,
Here.
Vice Chair Twait.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Before we get to the agenda approval, I'd like to bring to your attention the laydown materials. We have requested additions to the packet. There's a staff report, updated staff report for PZ 2025-05, as requested by the planning director. Should be 4 pages, correct? Is there a motion to approve the agenda and consent agenda with the laydown materials? Commissioner Twait.
I would move to approve the agenda and consent agenda with laydown item 01.
I'll second.
All right. Will the clerk please read the consent agenda items into the record?
You have approval of minutes, regular meeting of March 12th, 2025, and that is your consent agenda.
Thank you. Are there any public comments on any of the consent agenda items just read by the clerk? Are there any revisions to the agenda? Are there any objections or approving the agenda, consent agenda? Hearing no objections, the agenda and consent agenda are approved. We have item C, scheduled public comment. We have none. Item D, unscheduled public comment. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak to anything that is not on the agenda?
And if there is anyone online that would like to speak to an item that is not on the agenda, you may raise your hand at this time.
Good. Moving on, item E, in consideration of plats. We have PZ 2025-05, recommending conditional approval of preliminary plat, Black Gold Estates 2025 replat, merging lots 11, 12, 16, 17, and 60 feet of right-of-way into a single lot in the suburban residential zoning district. Do you have a motion to approve resolution PZ 2025-05?
I move to approve motion PZ 2025-05 with the laydown.
I second that.
Director Buettner, may we have your staff report, please?
Thank you, Chairman. The laydown material is essentially a substitute staff report. We did make a couple of small corrections which are outlined in a memo, which is the first page. But as I go through, just know that this is the current one that'll be on file. Preliminary plat has been submitted from McLean Consulting on behalf of Alex Douthit for a replat of lots 11, 12, 16, 17, and a 60-foot of unnamed right-of-way in the Black Gold Estate subdivision to create one lot. The subject lots are located between Wildwood Drive and Windflower Drive near the intersection of the Kenai Spur Highway and Wildwood Drive. The subject lots, as well as the unnamed right-of-way, are unimproved. If approved, the merging of the 4 subject lots and the vacation and subsequent merging of the unnamed right-of-way will result in a single approximately 0.937 acre parcel. Kenai Municipal Code states preliminary plats or replats must first be submitted to the city for review and provide recommendation to the Kenai Peninsula Borough Planning Commission. The proposed parcel merger meets the preliminary plat requirements and development requirements for the suburban residential zoning district. The merged parcel will have primary access off Wildwood Drive, which is city-maintained paved road. City sewer and water are available along Wildwood Drive. Wildwood Drive right-of-way, Wildwood, not the 60-foot right-of-way, that is something separate, but Wildwood Drive right-of-way has previously been contested. The City of Kenai is working with the Kenai Native Association and the State of Alaska to address any and all potential ownership issues regarding the right-of-way underneath Wildwood Drive. This process is ongoing and pending the results of the discussion. The city of Kenai has not reached a final decision on the vacation of the unnamed 60-foot right-of-way that is immediately adjacent to the Wildwood Drive right-of-way. And that unnamed right-of-way is what's asking to be vacated at this time. The city is currently awaiting documentation from the Kenai Native Association that would allow city council to determine that there's no public benefit to retaining the unnamed 60-foot right-of-way. The city does not object to the merger of the four parcels, lots 11, 12, 16, and 17, and does not wish to stymie political development along this corridor. Staff finds the preliminary plat for replat of lots 11, 12, 16, 17, and the 60-foot of unnamed right-of-way meets the following Title 14 KMC sections and aligns with the intent of the Kenai zoning code pursuant to Code 1410-070 subdivision design standards. It meets the requirements for 1410-080 minimum improvement required, minimum lot area requirements under 1424-010, and general requirements under 1424-020. Therefore, staff finds that the proposed preliminary plat for Black Gold Estates 2025 replat to replat lots 11, 12, 16, 17, and the 60 feet of unnamed right-of-way meets the general standards of Kenai Municipal Code 1410 and 1424 subdivision regulations development requirements table respectively, and hereby recommends that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommends conditional approval of resolution number PZ 2025-05 for replat of lots 11, 12, 16, 17, and the 60 feet of unnamed right-of-way to Kenai Peninsula Borough, subject to the following conditions. 1, further development of the property will conform to all federal, state of Alaska, and local regulations. And 2, the Kenai City Council must declare the unnamed 60-foot right-of-way not needed for a public purpose and approve the vacation of the right-of-way as shown on the preliminary plat.
Thank you, Director Breener. This item may be opened up for public comments. If anyone wishes to speak, let them know. They have 3 minutes.
Alex Stothert, City of Kenai. Just real quick on this. This is to go along with what happened about 3 years ago when the city already vacated an additional 210 feet of right-of-way to my adjacent lot that now borders this on the Kenai Spur side. So it's already, the 60-foot road right-of-way used to be another 210 feet longer, and it went into where I have my CDL training facility. That was considered not needed for a public purpose, and that was vacated about 3 years ago, I believe, by this board. And this is just continuing as I finally purchased those other 4 lots that also border my property to kind of clean that area up into one lot and make it suitable for development. Because all along that, with that 60-foot right-of-way there, what is unique about that is all the city utilities are along Wildwood Drive proper. So for anybody to develop those lots currently with that unnamed city right-of-way there, the road right-of-way, which used to be a road right-of-way set up for when my property was set to be a park back in like 64, 63, when that was planned as a military park. That's why that road right-of-way was originally put in there, was the intent for the military to have a city, a little park out where my utility lots are. So that's why that ever existed, but it's never been developed that way, and now it's definitely not going to be developed that way. And the problem being is now if you want to develop those lots, you would have to pull city utilities 60 feet before you're even to your lot. Your driveway will have to be an additional 60 feet longer before you ever get to your actual lot. So by eliminating this, I would assume that as this moves on, anybody who purchases and wants to develop these lots is going to want to continue to do this as it goes to make it feasible, because you're talking several $1,000s extra just to get to your lot line with utilities. And that's where this unneeded road right-of-way has been already deemed once and not needed for public purpose, and that's why I'm pursuing it now, is just kind of clean that up slowly but surely.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. Donovan? Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak?
If there's anyone online that would like to speak at this time, please raise your hand.
Okay, seeing none, we'll bring him back to the commission. Discussion from the commission. Commissioner Crows.
Hi. So excuse my novice because I'm new. So this right-of-way that was referred to as a road right-of-way, it's not a road right-of-way because you're calling it an unnamed right-of-way? I'm just looking for clarification.
Yes, when Black Gold was platted in 1964, I believe, when the amended plat was approved by the city, the intent was to have more of like a commercial strip, and that was going to be essentially a frontage road. There was some issues with a ditch that the Army or the Air Force had coming out of the station heading towards the bluff. Back in the day, people were trying to develop through that ditch. It was causing some issues, so it was a deal that was that no development was going to happen until that road was put in. Obviously, that never happened. That area was not, once the station closed, development moved this way. So currently, it is just a unnamed right-of-way. There is no plans to put a road in there at this time. The existing right-of-way under Wildwood is 120 feet wide, which more than covers any future possible expansions. So at this time, I do not believe that there's any plans for that right-of-way.
And the Kenai Native Association, the disputed part is actually under the road. It's not part of this right-of-way.
That is correct, and the Native Association just agreed in principle to they've been working with the city to take, to remove any doubt about that so that we can actually get funding to repave Wildwood. But that has already happened. It just, not all the i's are dotted and t's are crossed at this time. We're waiting for the paperwork to catch up.
Commissioner Petty?
So for clarity, for my sake, that unnamed 60 feet there is not included in the dispute between the city of Kenai and the Kenai Native Association.
That is correct. It is not part of the dispute.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Cruz?
And these are residentially zoned lots?
Suburban residential, yes, ma'am.
So does there need to be a conditional use permit on those?
No, for the type of development that is currently being proposed, it would meet requirements, but that would, depending on what actually does happen when a building plan is submitted, that at that time we would decide if a CUP is needed. But I don't believe it's going to be directly related to the existing business to the west.
Any other questions, comments? Okay. We'll call for the vote.
Vice Chair Twait,
Yes.
Commissioner Woodard,
Yes.
Commissioner Ersley,
Yes.
Commissioner Petty,
Yes.
Commissioner Kraus,
Yes.
Chair Halsted.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Next, we have PZ 2025-15, recommending approval of preliminary plat, Bailey Estates, Caprick Rice replat to relocate the lot line separating lots 1 and lot 2. Bailey Estates amended in the suburban residential zoning district. Is there a motion to approve resolution PZ 2025-15? Vice Chair Twait,
I would make a motion to approve PZ 2025-15.
we have a second?
Second.
Director Buny, we have your staff report, please.
City received a preliminary plat from Seagasser Surveys, Inc. on behalf of property owner for a replat of lots 1 and 2. Bailey Estates amended to adjust the lot line separating the two lots over which a large shop is currently built. Approval of this replat will allow the shop building to meet setback requirements. This replat was previously approved under Planning and Zoning 2022-04. However, the final plat was not recorded before the recording deadline. Kenai Municipal Code states preliminary plats must be first submitted to us for review. And our recommendation goes to the Kenai Peninsula Borough Planning Commission. This proposed replat meets preliminary plat requirements and development requirements for suburban residential 2 zoning district. Access to the subject lots is via Lawton Drive, which is city-maintained paved road. At approximately 1.883 and 1.547 acres, proposed lots 1A and B exceed the RS2 minimum lot size of 7,200 square feet. City water and wastewater are available along Lawton Drive and have been installed servicing both proposed lots. The staff finds that the proposed preliminary plat for Bailey Estates Carpick Rice replat to replat lots 1 and 2 Bailey Estates amended meets the general standards for Kenai Municipal Code, Chapter 1410 subdivision regulations, and Chapter 1424 development requirements table, and hereby recommends that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommends approval of Resolution PZ 2025-15 to the Kenai Peninsula Borough, subject to the following condition: that all further development of the property will conform to all federal, state of Alaska, and local regulations.
Thank you, Director Buhner. This item is also available for public comment, if anyone wishes to speak. No? Okay. Seeing no one else wishing to speak, we'll bring it back to the commission. Discussion from the commission. Seeing none, we have the vote, please.
Commissioner Ersley,
Yes.
Commissioner Petty,
Yes.
Commissioner Woodard,
Yes.
Vice Chair Twait,
Yes.
Chair Halsted,
Yes.
Commissioner Kraus,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. Our third item is PZ 2025-16, recommending approval of preliminary plat, Highland Subdivision 2025 replat, merging lots 11, 10, 12 into a single lot in the Rural Residential Zoning District. Is there a motion to approve Resolution PZ 2025-16? Commissioner Woodard.
I move to approve PZ 2025-16, recommending approval of preliminary plat.
Thank you. Do you have a second?
I would like to second that, please.
Thank you very much. Director Buhner, may we have your staff report, please?
City received a preliminary plat from McLean Consulting, Inc. on behalf of the property owner for replats of 10, 11, and 12, Block 2 Highland Subdivision, to merge 3 lots into a single approximately 1.377 acre parcel. Proposed replat meets preliminary plat requirements and development requirements for the Rural Residential Zoning District. Access to the subject lots is via, Chiswick Street, which is a city-maintained gravel road. At approximately 59,982 square feet, proposed Lot A exceeds the rural residential minimum lot size of 20,000 square feet. City water and wastewater are not available in the area. However, private water and wastewater have been installed on site and are subject to the regulatory requirements of the State of Alaska Department of Environmental Conservation. Staff finds that the proposed preliminary plat for Highland Subdivision 2025 replat to replat lots 10, 11, and 12, Block 2 Highland Subdivision, meets the general standards for Kenai Municipal Code, Chapter 1410 subdivision regulations, and Chapter 1424 development requirements table. Hereby recommends that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommends approval of Resolution PZ 2025-16 for replat of lots 10, 11, and 12, Block 2 Highland Subdivision to the Kenai Peninsula Borough, subject to the following condition: that further development of the property will conform to all federal, state of Alaska, and local regulations.
Did you do that all with one breath?
I did.
Wow, that was impressive. This is open for public comment. Does anyone wish to speak?
Anyone online that would like to speak, please raise your hand at this time.
Okay, seeing no one else, we'll bring it back to the commission. Discussion from the commission. Vice Chair Tweed,
I would ask for unanimous consent if there's no discussion.
any objections?
I'll second that.
All right, seeing that we have unanimous consent. That should finish that up. Moving on to F, public hearings. We have none. Going to G, unfinished business. We have a discussion item. Aspen Creek, 701 North Forest Drive, conditional use permit. Director Buhner, may we have your staff report, please?
Yes. Currently, we have not heard any new developments regarding 701 North Forest Drive and their conditional use permit. It is our understanding that we're waiting for construction season, or construction within the building to finish, which the owner stated would be about the first week of May. We have been going over there just to look. We have seen a few vehicles. We haven't determined who owns what vehicle, but it was significantly lower than when we went over a few months ago. So I think some progress is being made, but I'm reticent to say that the problem has been solved at this time. So we're just kind of more gathering information and kind of waiting for the contractors that are in the building to be done with their work and hopefully see where we fall after that happens.
We're thinking that's just contractors that are still using that road.
Like I said, we can't prove because we don't know the ownership, but the vehicles that I saw when I was out there, on the day I was out there, were generally pickup trucks. So that was, my guess would be that they were some sort of contractor.
Okay. I don't know if we have a open for public comment at this time. We saving that for a follow-up? So you'll have a chance to speak on that. Not just yet, but you'll have an opportunity. Any other discussion on that, 701? Okay, and then we're going to keep that as an unfinished item? Just keep reporting back on that? Okay, excellent. Second discussion item is a work session meeting for for May 14th, 2025 at 5:30 to discuss conditional use permits. Is that just informational, or is that your suggested time?
That was suggested time because it would be a public meeting. We'd have to do public noticing, so that's why it'd be a little further out in the future. We also had a email that came in, I believe it was yesterday. Commissioner Fikes asked if it could be on another day. It doesn't not necessarily have to be on a Planning and Zoning Commission day. The two things that would limit us would be availability from the commission members and the ability for us to use council chambers as a venue, just make sure we're not conflicting with any other commission that might be using it that night. But tentatively, May 14th should work if everyone else is agreeable.
Is there any comments, questions on that date? Seem doable? Okay. Moving on, H, new business. We have none. Going into reports, planning director.
Yes. I'll bring your attention towards one of the last few pages of the packet, which is now out of order for me. Page 50. The Kenai Peninsula Borough Comprehensive Safety Action Plan. Their draft is out. They're going to have a few public workshops. They have a couple that are going to be, one is Monday for a public workshop. I believe they have two, one in the late morning, early afternoon, and one in the evening. And then also a joint work session on April 16th with the Planning Commission and the City Council. So it'll be right before a council meeting, but if anyone from Planning Commission, we would like to have you. But they're going to present their draft plan, draft recommendations that will help us make our roads and transportation network safer.
Thank you. Commission Chair report. I know some of you are surprised to hear that I don't do this professionally. As eloquent as I am on this microphone, I do have a day job, and that being said, my day job has changed to a different schedule that does not allow me to continue on as a member of the board. So unfortunately, I let Ms. Thibodeau know, and the next meeting you'll have to get a new chair. But I do want to say that I've enjoyed working with you all. It's been a great honor to be a part of this board and serve as long as I have without getting usurped. So I think Jeff is back on the chair spot. And I finally figured out to call you Vice Chair Twait, and now it's all
And
over.
now it's back.
So, but thank you all for,
You can't get a work release or a permission from anybody to come in?
it's a little,
Supervised visitation? You can
a
come.
little bit of a critical career choice there. But thank you all. Kenai Peninsula Borough Planning, Commissioner Fikes isn't available. Council Member Sonart, may we have your report, please?
Good evening, everyone. Mine is really short tonight because I really don't have anything to report to you.
Well, Okay. And item J, we have additional public comment. If anyone wishes to speak now on any items, I just need your name when you poke that button on the microphone.
It's Arliss Maskinnis, and I live at 607 Westwood off of Pine Street. Sunday night, I went over to Kit's house on Ponderosa. She lives at the last house there where the driveway is. And there is a sign about this big that says emergency vehicles only. There is no camera up there. Well, I took her over a game camera, and we were standing outside for somewhere between 4 to 6 minutes. And during that time, 5 cars came out. The first one that came out was a big welding truck. Now, this was Sunday night at 6 o'clock. So I don't think anyone was there welding. But we're going, where is all this traffic coming from? So I took her a game camera, and she was going to install it so we can have an actual count of how many people are using that, because that man said he was going to put one up that we could all see. Well, that's never come to happen. And there's a lot more traffic than just emergency vehicles, especially Sunday night at 6 o'clock. And again, it's not our fault, the people that live in that subdivision, that his design was flawed. And I'd like to ask, how were they able to pave that 10-foot easement between the building and the property line? How were they able to pave that on each side? I thought that wasn't supposed to be disturbed. You can't build your house 8 inches from your property line. But they paved those roads, and that was supposed to be the in driveway on the north or south side and coming out on the north side. Now they're coming, well, if it snows, well, duh. You know, right now, this winter was no snow, but that's not normal. And if they want to use our subdivision all winter long when it snows, and then have it for the semi trucks and the dump trucks, or the dumpster trucks, and other, emergency vehicles we have no problem with. But it was their flawed design, and it was their fault, their mistake, and they're getting away with trying to get permission to use our subdivision as their driveway. And I did get hold of Chief Ross and to put signs up. The speed limits, which is pretty shocking to me, in every subdivision in Kenai is 25 miles an hour. Well, I did notice over there by Beaver Creek on that subdivision, you could look down that street, you see a sign for 25. But there's no signs in Woodland, there's no signs in Inlet Woods, there's no signs in Readout subdivision, because people usually do 15 to 20, not 25. And then Walker, on Turn Lane, it does say 20 miles an hour on that Walker subdivision back there. That's 20 miles an hour, and I think it's Birch or Spruce, that's 20 miles an hour. And Chief Ross went and looked and called me and said, "You're right." I said, "I know, I took pictures." But no, we need to get these subdivisions, because I was doing 20 through my subdivision today just for shits and giggles to see how 20 miles an hour is too fast in a subdivision. It really is. I said, 25 is way too fast. 20 is pushing it. I'd like to see the city of Kenai make all subdivisions 15 to 20 miles an hour, because there's no sidewalks, there's no curbs. And it's dangerous, and I'm surprised some kid hasn't already been hit. Well, nowadays they're all locked in their room on their devices. That's probably why. But anyway, thank you for listening, and again, please, please don't give them a permanent entryway through our subdivision. It's just, it hurts. It hurts mentally, and it's going to hurt money-wise when you go to sell your house, and they want to know what all this traffic is for. This is a subdivision, it's not a commercial company. And I did try to get hold of the owners of the other property, and they have not gotten back to me yet. But there is 4 lots right now on the north side. There's 4 lots already subdivided next to that assisted living. So, and he said he tried to buy them. Well, no one's going, I've been here since '69, and that property's never been developed outside of Clint buying it to build Aspen Creek. So, thank you again.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
If there's anyone online that would like to testify at this time, please raise your hand.
Okay. Moving on to item K, our next meeting attendance notification is going to be April 23rd, not April 9th, but April 23rd. Is anyone planning to be absent or attending remotely?
Well, I had a really funny thing I was going to say, because I was supposed to be in Florida on April 9th, and I was going to cancel it now to run this meeting since you weren't going to be here, but now I can't even use that as how dedicated I am to the position, so
Your sacrifices don't go unnoticed.
thank you. I want you to know that.
Commissioner Cruz?
I am turning 55 on the 22nd, and my husband's taking me on a little trip, so I'll be on video that day.
Very good. And sorry for killing your name. I know it's Kraus, but I keep saying Cruz. All right. Commission's comments and questions. Commissioner Ersley.
I'll be traveling on the 9th and not sure if I'll be able to be in attendance.
Okay, that's. Yeah, we found out you were traveling. We moved it to the 23rd.
And no comment.
All right. Commissioner Woodard.
I guess I have no comment either.
All right. Commissioner Kraus.
None, thank you.
Vice Chair Tweet.
Nothing at this time.
Commissioner Petty.
Would you please clarify the date of our next scheduled meeting?
Our next scheduled meeting is April 23rd, 2025.
Thank you.
It is a clerical error on your form where it does say April 9th, but it was actually April 23rd. Commissioner Woodard.
Yeah, I do have a comment. It's been very nice serving here with you, and I'm sorry to see you go.
Thank you. Commissioner Petty.
Yes, I would like to state that I will be traveling and will not be available on April the 23rd. I will be out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Commissioner Fikes is unavailable. So pending items, we have none. Seeing no further business before this body, we are adjourned.